Today on TimesCast, Greek leaders schedule new elections in June, stoking fears that the country may abandon the euro.
The real fear is that a far-left party, Syriza, which had a remarkable run last time, will become the most popular party in Greece. If once again the Greeks are unable to come up with a majority government that supports the deal with the European Union, the likelihood that Greece will leave the euro and leave the European Union itself becomes much more possible. In the meantime, the Greeks themselves are panicking. They are pulling money out of their banks at a rapid rate. According to the government, $900 million worth in the last week alone. The difficulty is everyone wants Greece to stay inside the euro because they're afraid of what might happen if it leaves. If Greece leaves, then why should Portugal stay, or even Spain? The worry is that the breakup of the euro, which is a great project of Europe after the Second World War, will fall into pieces and will be a tremendous blow to Europe's standing in the world. It's not that Greece is such a big part of the European Union, but it is the place where democracy was born. And we are seeing here a tremendous confrontation between democratic politics and technocratic solutions.
As television networks preview their new seasons to advertisers, Latino networks step further into the spotlight.
There are 50 million Latinos in the United States, and advertisers and media companies want their attention. This is the 2012 Upfront en Español.
This year, there are nearly twice as many presentations by Hispanic networks as last year. Here at Univision, the top Spanish-language media outlet, to woo advertisers, they pulled out all the stops with dancing, celebrities, and a performance by Shakira.
The Big Four.
Executives boasted about the network's dominance over English-language networks. In fact, Univision says it beat NBC on 195 nights in prime time last year alone.
The reality is our audience is evolving, our society is changing, and we, Univision, as a company, are transforming to ensure that we're leading what we think is the new American reality.
And the clear message here, as well as at rival Telemundo, was more, more, more. More telenovelas, more sports, and more digital platforms for content. And advertisers are eager to reach this growing demographic. Over the next few years, Hispanics are expected to spend nearly $1 trillion.
Latinos really represent a big audience, and it's not necessarily to be thought of as a niche market. It's more and more the general market is, the multicultural market.
Compared to network television, viewers are younger, and they tend to watch television in real time. Univision said 94% of their programming is watched live. Despite this attractive viewership, some advertisers are still trying to understand the market.
What's some of the hesitation that things that they might be worried about in terms of getting involved in this market?
I think it's comfort zone. They're so comfortable, knowing the English language and the players in that space, and just, that's what they watch, that's what they're comfortable with. Many times it's a focus group of one that they're surveying.
And President Obama discusses his legislative agenda for the rest of the year with congressional leaders.
The president wants to talk about his to-do list, which is a list of smaller efforts to help small business. He is trying to jumpstart the economy in a very immediate sense. The Republicans want to talk about what we've known as Taxmageddon, the enormous fiscal cliff that the United States faces in January when all of the Bush tax cuts of 2001 and 2003 expire at the same time that more than $1 trillion of automatic spending cuts go into effect. Speaker of the House John Boehner gave a speech on Tuesday in which he presaged what could be yet another major showdown on the statutory debt ceiling, that limit of the United States to borrow.
When the time comes, I will again insist on my simple principle of custom reforms greater than the debt limit increase.
This is all reminiscent of what we've already been through, and I think a lot of readers may be thinking, here, are we really going to go through this? But in fact, the stakes may be actually higher this year than they were last year. Last year, we were talking about the debt ceiling and the full faith and credit of the U.S. government. This year, we're also talking about $8 trillion in tax increases and spending cuts that will hit all at once, just as the economy is really starting to get off its knees. And economists agree that we can't deal with something that major all at once, even though it would be probably a very big help to the budget deficit.